good to do a one-on-one lesson with shapes. So the first thing that we're going to do is you can take a tray and you can fill it either with flour or maizena, or I'm using some baby powder, and you just sprinkle some in a tray. And then what you do with your child is you sit with them and you say, right, let's trace the shapes. So you can say, draw a circle for me, and your child can trace a circle. If they're not sure how, you can draw the circle and then they take their finger afterwards and trace the circle, or they can draw a smaller circle inside. Then what you can do is you can say, draw a square for me, and they can draw a square, or draw a heart for me, or whatever shape you need, they can trace the shapes for you. So in this flour or powder or whatever you're using, you trace every shape for them. That's how we start the lesson. Then we move on to matching shapes. So I'm just using this resource that I have, but it's very simple. You can just make cards on a piece of paper and cut it out. So on this side, I have the different shapes. And then I can say, okay, find a circle for me and put it next to this circle. And they take the circle and they stick it next to the circle. I can say, find a square and put it next to this square. Take the square and they put it next to the square. And so forth. You can also play a game of almost like snap. You can say, I've got a square, do you have a square? If we're sitting like this. I've got a square, do you have a square? And then they must find the square. So we almost have a matching game. You can play memory game if your child has UCL, is that at that ability level, where you turn around that card, and you turn around this card. Oh, they're the same. I get to keep them. It's your turn, you turn around that card, you turn around that card. Are they the same? No. Now it's my turn, I turn around this card, turn around this card. It's not the same. Turn it back. Turn around this card, turn around this card. They're the same. You get to keep them, and so forth. Today's lesson, we are going to make a sensory collage. Now, instead of doing one sensory lesson where we do shaving cream, or one where we do water play, or one where we do sand play, we're going to combine them all together. So what you'll need is you'll need an A4 paper, preferably a colored paper, but if you don't have that, you're welcome to use a white piece of paper. So I've just chosen yellow because it's quite a neutral background. Now you can go find anything with texture in your house. So here's just some examples. I found some polystyrene in my house. There's some ice cream sticks. Here's some pipe cleaners, household tin foil, some straws. This I cut off from a mop, some buttons, some pom-poms. This is one of my husband's, I don't actually know what. I think it's like a tennis ball thing. This I happen to have from school. Here's some beads, cotton wool, whatever you have. This is also some recycled material, so egg boxes, toilet rolls, lids from bottles that you're throwing away. So whatever you can find that is different textures. So obviously we don't want all cardboard. We would like plastic, we would like soft, we would like hard. Anything that we can find, we're going to put on this collage. Now collage means that it touches. We don't want it all overlapping each other in this sense, because we want our children to feel the different textures. So what we're going to do, ideally you would like to use white glue, so Ponal or Bostik Clear or Bostik white glue if you have wood glue. If you don't, you can use your normal Pritt. So I'm just going to use normal Pritt to show you. If we start, you're going to use a lot of glue. Your child is going to do this. Please remember, no fist. We're just going to put a lot of glue to start off with, and then you allow them to stick where they want. Obviously only where there's glue. Let's say they would like to stick those. More glue. The more glue the better if it's Pritt, obviously. Maybe then we would like to stick this piece of polystyrene, and then we carry on gluing. Then we like this pipe cleaner, we carry on gluing, and we like this toilet roll, and so we carry on. Now I'm not going to do the whole collage for you because I made another one as an example. But the reason why we do this is often when our children get frustrated, or you see between activities they're not concentrating, this is a nice thing to bring out and say, okay babes, let's feel. Oh, how does this feel? This is soft, this is hard, this is rough. Feel this. And it's very soothing activity for them to rub their hands all over the different textures. So the one that I made earlier, this is just an example of one. Doesn't matter what you have on here. You can see there's a lot of different textures for them to run their fingers over. Earbuds, buttons, cotton wool. This is a cupcake holder. This is just some sequins I had in the house. And then they'll sit and you'll see they'll run their fingers over and they'll just play with the different textures, which is soothing for them. And it's very good for children that are tactile defensive and they like to play with it, and just it will just help calm and refocus concentration if they are battling. Right, today's fine motor activity is that we are going to roll balls using a piece of tin foil. So you can just use tin foil in your house. If you do not have tin foil in your house, you can just use a piece of paper. So basically what we are going to do is we're going to tear the tin foil into different strips. Ideally you want them to tear it into smaller pieces, and then they need to start rolling it into a smaller ball. Now they're going to try and use both hands, that's fine. So the first few balls we can roll it with both hands. Then you want them to start rolling it with one hand. Then we want them to use the left hand. The idea is that we're not scrunching and just scrunching. The idea is that we are using our fingers because we are trying to strengthen these muscles. So they're going to roll, roll, roll. And then you're going to encourage them to make tiny little balls. So these balls are bigger. Now we're trying to get small little balls. So you want small balls, and you're going to keep encouraging them. Now once you've made the balls, then I want you to try and get them to use just their index finger and their thumb. Then they must use their thumb and their middle finger. Then they must use their ring finger and their thumb. And then they must use their pinky and their thumb, so that they're practicing using every finger. Once they have done making bigger balls, smaller balls, then they can use their hand and do some scrunching because they like doing that as well. And then right at the end, when they've done all of that, to help you tidy up, they can put all the balls together, and then I always give them a nice big piece, and then they can make one big ball, and then they can either throw it in the dustbin, or you can play a little bit of catch, or whatever you'd like to do. Right, our fine motor activity for today is pegging. What you will need is you'll need a paper plate and a couple of pegs. If you don't have a paper plate, you can use cardboard, but you'll have to put a few pieces of cardboard together just to get a thicker texture, or a couple of pieces of paper together. So what your child is going to do is they are going to hold the paper plate, and then they're going to take the pegs, and the skill here is to push the peg here on the edges, open them, and peg them onto the plate. You are not allowed to help them. They need to take it with whichever hand they want to. Open it, push it open, push it open, and then peg it onto the plate. Take another one, push it open at the tip, and peg it onto the plate. The trick here is to watch, because very often they try and just shove it on like that. So you need to make sure that they're pushing here, because we want to make sure that they're working these fingers. So push there and peg it onto the plate. And they can peg all around. We have to make sure that they're pegged, 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 so that they're exercising these fingers. Now what we can use for sorting is, here I've got a variety of buttons. You can use earbuds, you can use pigs, you can use macaroni noodles, you can use whatever you have in house. Now today I'm just going to use some of these buttons. And these pigs sing as they open. Now basically what we do with sorting is it is grouping according to a criteria. So when I ask my children to sort, I am asking them, it's all been mixed up, now I'm asking them, I want them to find something that's the same. So I can say, please put all the buttons on this side and all the pigs on this side. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to take all the pigs and they're going to put them on this side. And then they're going to move all the buttons on this side. Or you're going to find, even though you've asked that, you're going to have some children that are going to do this. Because they're starting to sort according to color. Or they'll take this out and then they're going to start sorting like this. Because now they're trying to sort according to size. So when you start sorting, it is very important that you make your criteria very specific and you say, I want the pegs on this side and I want the buttons on this side. And if you see they're starting to sort according to color, you say no, I want the pegs on this side, and then you mix them again. Because what we are assessing is we're seeing, can they put the pegs here and can they put the buttons here? And then you can change it and say, right, I want colors, put the blue here. And then you wait till they've done the blue. I want the green here. See if they can put the green. I want the yellow here. Put the yellow here. Put the red here. Put the red here. Then you can take the pegs out the equation and sit with all the buttons and say, okay, I want the big buttons. Find the big buttons for me. Let's put all the big buttons. Where's all the small buttons that look like this? Where's all the small ones? Look here, I see another one. Can you find another one like that for me? Come, let's look in here. Come, see if you can find another one. Is there another one? Ah, good job. I see another one. See, can you see another one? And then you can sort according to that criteria. But don't let them start sorting to their own criteria if you asked in the beginning for them to go pegs and buttons or macaroni and buttons or earbuds and macaroni or whatever your criteria was. Counting we do in 3 ways, right? So we start with what we'll call the counting song, which is where you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where the children almost just repeat it like a song. That's why we call it the counting song. Then I like to do it where we count clapping, where we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you get to 10, change the way you clap your hands. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, until you get to 20, and then you go 21, 22. Okay, so according to your child's ability, once again, you'll see up to where they can count. Some children can only count from 1 to 5, and that's perfect. We are working on that skill. We are not pushing them above their ability. So now I'm going to show you what I mean by concrete counting. So first you start with the song. So we go with 1, 2, 3, then we do our clapping, and then we're going to go to concrete counting, which is the most important. So this is concrete counting. Concrete counting means we are counting with something. It can be anything. It can be pigs, it can be noodles, it can be macaroni, it can be pens, but it must be the same thing. So please don't use a pig and then you've got a pen and then you've got a bottle of water, because it's not the same thing to your child. So they're not going to count it. It doesn't mean the same thing. Also make sure that you're making use of something that is mundane and that you're not making use of, here, a beautiful cup and then something with a pattern on here, and because then they're going to be focused on that instead of what the objective is, which is counting. So here I'm just going to make use of a few pegs to explain the concept. So when we are counting, we are going to put a few pegs down. Now we're going to say, right, we're going to start with the first peg. How much is this? This is 1. Say 1 for me. 1. Right, then we got 2. Let's count again. 1, 2. 1, 2. How much is that? 2. Right, let's do it again. 1, 2. Now I put another 1. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. Okay, do it again for me. 1, 2. Good job. Right, let's put another 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. All this time your child should be counting with you. Alright, and we're going to keep going up to your child's ability. Concrete means they are counting something. So they shouldn't be just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and then get to 10 and there's 6 pegs on the table. That means they're not actually counting something. So this is the idea of concrete counting. If your child is non-verbal, that is fine. You are doing the talking, but your child is pointing. So when you say 1, they are pointing to 1 peg. Then you put 2 and you say 1, they point there. 2, they point there. Then you put there and you say 1, they point there. You say 2, they point there. You say 3, they point there. If it is only your child's capacity at this stage to count to 4, that's perfectly fine. We are going to build their abilities until they can count to 20 or 200 or wherever. We all grow at different rates and stages and developmental levels, so please don't panic. Alright, so this is what I mean by concrete counting. And then if you would like to as well add the number, I'm just going to do it on the table here, and you say this is 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, sorry for my beautiful handwriting here, 4, 4. Right, where's 1? Here's 1. Where's 2? Here's 2. 1, 2. Look at the number 3, 3, 4, 4. This is just incidental learning, but it's also going to help with the number recognition later on. This is not necessary, it's just an extra extension. You can just draw a simple picture for your child. You start with a square, you start with a triangle, you draw a simple house for them to color in. If you want to make it more complex and you want to add a tree, you can. At this stage, just draw simple shapes for them to color in, and then you can just do that as a picture. Right. Then you can put a variety of colors in front of them. Make sure that you give them options to choose and that they don't just have one color. Then you tell your child to choose a color. Right, and then you are now going to encourage them to hold the pen correctly. Now, a lot of our children have a tendency to hold it as a fist. We need to encourage them to hold it close to the bottom in what we call a triangular grip. So here is one finger, here is one finger, and there's the other finger. You will see that they will keep creeping to the top. You are just going to keep pushing it down to the bottom, just gently, and say, remember where you must hold it at the bottom. And then they're going to keep moving up, and you say, remember where you must hold it? You must hold it at the bottom. Right, then we're going to say to them, okay, my lovey, here we're going to color in here. Now when they color, you are going to see they're going to color in all different directions. That is normal, it is age appropriate. However, we're going to say, okay, what we're going to do today is we are going to color in one direction like a stripe. Going to color like this, one direction. See if you can color for me like that in one direction. Come, let's go from this side to this. Good. From this side to, yes, clever, clever. If they go out the lines like this, it's okay. Our focus for today is going from one side to the other side, one side to the other side. One important piece that I do want to tell you, or important note that I want to tell you, if you drew your picture with a thin pen and your triangle came out like this with thin sides, please go over it with a thick koki, because if this is not a thick koki, your child will definitely go out of the lines. and then you are going to constantly have them going out the lines, and then they are not going to see any progress themselves. So if you've got a thick line, they are less likely to go out of the lines. So this is what you're going to keep encouraging them, that they just go like this. Come on, love, color in. They can keep, and a broad hand, all the way, good job. And color in. You are not going to keep holding their hand, they're going to keep coloring. Good job, good job, good job. And then you're going to make them go back and show them where the white spaces are. Look, here's white, color where there's white, good, here's white, good, here's white, good, here's white, until the whole picture is finished.